about the message intended for the world, frankly? How are they likely to respond given to what he said today?
There's enormous goodwill, especially if you pick up the European press. In France, they view Obama as a hero, an icon. They think it's a whole new day in U.S.-European relations, not just U.S.-French relations. But, just like here at home, the question is, star power is one thing, but can he ask them, will they go along with him when he says, I need more troops for Afghanistan? The president has said he will send more U.S. troops for Afghanistan, but he says he wants some of the NATO allies to pitch in more as well. Many of those countries, of course, most, all but Great Britain, stayed away from Iraq. A couple of small contributions from others. Most of them are tired of Afghanistan, too. And so the question is, can he get them to go along? How bold will he be on global warming? That was one of the years Bush got off on a bad footing with many in Europe because they wanted to accept the Kyoto Treaty. So, again, the goodwill is enormous. Will he send an envoy between Israel and the Palestinians in this next week during this ceasefire? Once you start getting to the specifics, it gets hard. But there's no question he has great goodwill around the world. Now he has to deal with the problems.
Well, I think, again, this goes to the challenge, which is the poetry of what he says is very lofty, but the practice of his actions are going to be where the challenges lie. I did know...
Johan, what are you doing? Are you mad with the ball?
Anybody who has an unclenched fist. Well, that, again, sounds like a line that is very lofty rhetoric. I think everybody would agree with it. It will be interesting to see how he works across the aisle to actually put that into practice, and whether or not it does complicate a lot of our security efforts around the world, when Barack Obama has said during the campaign that he would sit down with a lot of our enemies. And that is going to be something that I think Republicans are going to be very, very vigilant about holding him to a tougher standard on that.
Yeah, well, look, when you are trying to do some of the things that he's talked about, when the person across the table actually believes that you're willing to even have the banter back and forth, that person is more likely to participate in the conversation. I think when Bush came in, as you talked about, John, when it came to the Kyoto Treaty, the rest of the country said, well, what the heck are you doing? I mean, you embraced it, but now you're backing off of it. There were several other things as well. And so he has the opportunity now to say, look, I am willing to reach out. And they're saying, those are not empty words. That's a great starting point. And so, sure, we can talk about, well, they're all different hard choices. Yes, they are all there. But he begins with people saying, we now truly see you as a partner. Now we can go from there. That's a great starting point, I would think, about it.
But he also sent a very clear message to our enemies, the terrorists. He said, you cannot outlast us, and we will defeat you.
Hello.
And that's a message George W. Bush would have said, and said. And yet, then a paragraph or two down, said to the Muslim world, we see forward. So was it a dual message, but it was a very, very strong message.
What?
The speech itself a little bit, because you mentioned,
you just want to destroy everything.
Not everybody thought it was a great speech. I did. And honestly, wasn't it? I it was a great speech.